The YouTube. Welcome to MixLife 48 Rock Flag Eagle for all our sunny fans
Rock
out there.
flag and eagle.
Yeah, America. We're here, we're living, we're doing the damn thing. I have kind of transferred my gear into this room, and that's as good as it's going to get. And I shaved my beard for this episode because I'm committed. And that's what we got. We are going to pull off the judging of Jarvis and Hetty, as they call him in Mexico. And hope you guys are having a good week. Thank you for tuning in. The subscribers keep going up, so I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Clearly, some demented, strange people following us, but we appreciate you being there. Hope you're mixing some cool shit. Nobody knows what's in Flavor Sweetener. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what's been going on.
And life has no meaning, and there's nothing to argue about. Yeah.
I'll co-sign that one.
How are you guys doing? How are you, Dave?
Well, I'm dying. I went a little nuts, and we're going to have 37 oranges to talk about tomorrow.
Whoa.
Jesus. Why didn't you split this into like oranges and like mandarins? Just give yourself a nice, easy time there.
Yeah, you haven't been in the noted room or server today. That was a topic of conversation, how we're going to do a better job of breaking these up in the future, because this is insane. My throat is raw. Last night I had heartburn. I'm pretty sure it was from all the orange flavors.
Yeah, that'll happen where you're like, I've noticed like some flavors will just like make me feel like heavy tobaccos will do that to me, where if I'm vaping a bunch, I'm basically probably drinking a bunch of it too. And I'll get heartburn. So probably definitely from that. What do you guys say, Concrete Shasta?
Well, I'm not drinking Shasta right now. I'm drinking a energy drink from my delicious, delicious mug. I have been doing some testing this week. It's not like I've been absurdly busy mixing things or anything. So I've been finally digging into testing some of the vape train stuff and the decadent vapor stuff. So that's been interesting so far. Started out with some flavors that I had from both flavor houses and kind of been comparing them back and forth just to make my life easier.
What are some must buys from the vape train now that Bill City has it? What are the
If you dig boozes, buy their boozes. Their boozes they're not really full. They don't have a bunch of body, but for some reason they absolutely nail the boozy top note. So if you've been looking for cocktail vapes, that is definitely some place to go.
Fizzy sherbet.
Yeah, you have a few favorites too, right?
Fizzy sherbet, golden syrup. Those are my favorites.
So fizzy sherbet and the golden syrup, and then the boozes all get buy recommendations. Well, that's sold out damn fast too.
Oh, the lime, the Persian lime.
Yeah, Persian lime's really good.
They can't say that we're not having an effect on sales. But you had noted up in our show. We're definitely creating trends, because this shit sold out pretty quick around one.
Well, and the other thing, just to like speak for their boozes a little bit more, this is how good their boozes are. I actually ordered, I have 100 and something vape train flavors sitting here waiting for tests, and I ordered the Russian vodka and the Scotch whiskey from Bull City because I don't already have them. So that's how good their booze is turning out so far.
Yeah, you're a booze connoisseur when it comes to the flavor. So, anybody try avocado cream?
I have not yet.
Not yet. That's the problem with this damn noted show. I have to get either really, really excited and motivated to try something, or it has to fit the profile for that week, or I'm not going to have time to test it.
What about the mangoes? Did you not have time for the mangoes, Dave?
I tried the shisha mango. I didn't try the mango juice. I could see a lot of people like that. It's not my favorite, but it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, it seems like it's maybe a little bit. It still has some of that piney. Oh, excuse me, that piney thing going on that tanks a couple of other mangoes. But the base of it's really good if you can deal with those piney notes. Just from my really limited testing with it.
Yeah, a little back and forth with somebody on in the comments of your Reddit review of that flavor about how those piney notes, they aren't really inauthentic. You can't call it that because some mangoes have that, especially if you don't peel them well. But there's such a wide variety of different types of mangoes, and then within each variety, you pick it on a different day, and it's going to be different. Like even from the same tree, you can go to the grocery store and buy 4 mangoes, and they taste different. And some of them do taste a little piney, but that's not my thing. The pine, I want to get away from that pine flavor, so that's why it's not my favorite. But it's not really strong either. Just a hint of peel.
The cherry liqueur is sold out. Light rum is sold out. Sweet honey is sold out. Have you guys tried any of those 3?
The light rum I have tried, and the light rum, again, not much body to it. It's not like a sub for like Flavor Arts Jamaican rum with those really heavy dark notes. But it has like an actual white rum kind of top note. It's actually pretty cool.
So you could combine it with Jamaican rum, maybe get a decent rum vape.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think these are going to be really good. I think the boozes are going to be really good tools for layering into cocktail vapes where you already have like you take something like Flavor Arts Brandy, which is nice and sweet and present. It just isn't all that boozy. You throw some Vape Train Brandy on top of that for some of that boozy hot note, and you pretty much have a full actual like liquor. It's kind of nice. I think I relapsed actually vaping one of the recipes with it. Like I feel like I need to get a sponsor and then check with them on it.
You went to sleep vaping rum and woke up with a handle by your bed. Oh man, this Joe Rogan has a buddy that went to sleep and took Ambien. And then he made an entire Thanksgiving. He drove to the store, bought a turkey and stuffing, came home, made the turkey and the stuffing and gravy, and then went to sleep, woke up, thought someone had broken his house, called the cops, and was like, somebody made a turkey here last night. But it was this guy who was himself, he was fucked up on Ambien, and had gone to the grocery store and cooked a turkey at home. So that's what I'm thinking for your experience was similar. It's like just end up with the handle.
Yeah, I somehow took all the agency out of me and just completely relapsed after tasting that. So thank you, Vape Train. You ruined my life.
Thank you, Vape Train.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. I'm going to be homeless again. Yay.
Eucalyptus robusta looks interesting to me, and then sweet musk just seems like I don't even know what sweet musk would be.
Well, it could be.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say for the sweet musk, they have like muskmelon candies and stuff, like Asian muskmelon stuff, and it smells like a more intense version of like that musky part of a muskmelon.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's definitely musky AF though. I mean, it's going to be a bear to work with, but smells fairly accurate.
Do you know if Bull City is carrying the caramel mocha?
Let me see. I got them all up right now.
I thought you might.
I'm not seeing it. They have coffee liqueur and Irish cream. No, they don't have the caramel mocha that I see. What about their chocolates? Have you guys, anyone come across? I know couples spend a lot of time on these, but
their chocolates aren't bad so far. I'm still kind of trying to dial them in. I don't think there's any like real silver bullets in their chocolate line. Their clear chocolate base is like actually clear, but it isn't necessarily rich enough to really stand up to anything so far. I like their dark chocolate, but again, it doesn't have a whole bunch of like heavier base to it. It feels a little dry, a little thin.
Chocolate-based clear sounds interesting because, like, you know, the chocolates are usually turn your mix black as night. So the idea of having
they have two white chocolates. I haven't tried the one called white chocolate, but I've heard that it's actually good. And I tried the one called Love, and I didn't care for it. It doesn't taste like love. It tastes like a box of white and maybe a little bit of milk chocolate, box and all.
Get them, Dave.
They included the box, yeah.
How dare you call this love? I didn't even get a restraining order from vaping it. Come on.
Yes.
Let's hear. Tell us about an orange flavor that you hate.
That I hate?
Yeah, which one?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many that I hate. Probably gonna have to go with the most hated. There was one that tasted like soap, like just straight up soap. What is? I have to consult my notes. It didn't make. None of them were that terribly bad to like leave me scarred for life. Just the overall effect of vaping oranges all day. But
I don't think I could do it. It's like it's one of those flavors. Like I've probably failed like 40 orange recipes before I got one that I liked. You know?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Nature's Flavors Passion Orange Mango. It's really bad. It tastes like acidic tropical soap. And the mango is non-existent too. It's just not there.
I actually, so I made an orange cream, and then to finally get it right was putting mango as a back note. So you don't taste the mango, but it just helped balance the oranges. And that was like one of my first orange cream things that I'd made that I didn't just despise, that didn't go down that bitter orange road.
It's really good for making oranges better and for making peaches better. Mango.
Just start your recipe with 2% Fulvora mango in everything.
Yeah, just do that.
Okay, so let's talk about, we got two recipes. There's a recipe competition. One of our judges has run to Mexico due to his being wanted by the cartel.
Los Federales are after him.
I thought you would run the other way if you were wanted by the cartel. Why would he run to Mexico?
I don't know. We got to ask him next week.
He's tricking them. They're going to be looking everywhere but Mexico.
As he goes live from Zihuatanejo.
And I'm pretty sure Capella at one point has unironically been super into Mexican blankets, so I think it fits. Like you know, this is a guy who has had a van at one point that has used a Mexican blanket for a seat cover.
If you haven't watched, I can't remember his damn name, the cartoon. What was? Do you remember his name? The Looney Tunes Hispanic rat, a little mouse.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, if you rewatch Speedy Gonzalez, it is a coked up mouse. And I never got the reference as a young child, but in rewatching more recently, go find a YouTube of it, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit!" They're just making fun of he's basically a coked up mouse. Give it a try; you'll enjoy it. Let me talk Mexico. Mixer collection is in Mexico. That's exciting.
That was a transition right there.
You see that? You see what it is? Yeah.
Nice job squeezing that in.
Yeah, you better. It's awesome because Mexico is totally brand new market, and it's one of those weird gray area countries, anyways, because there's vape shops all over the place, but the federales could also kind of like shut your vape shop down. So it's sort of like medical marijuana California style, where like it's sort of legal.
Well, they sort of do. They could shut whatever that down they want anyway.
Right. So it's probably just like a bribe your way out type of thing down there. So, but we are available for sale, and it's a brand new market. Like you can go on Instagram. There's only like 800 photos for the tags for the Mexican vaping and stuff. So it's exciting. We're working on some other pieces to that collection, Mexican style. That'll probably be, you know, coming at some point. So that's exciting. And it was very cool to see our mixer collection menu in all Spanish. Like that to me was like we have products in England, we ship all over the world, but it was like it was one of the first real things to me that I was like, holy shit, like we're actually like global. Even though you realize it, you say it, you're like, oh cool, products in England and stuff. But like to see your products in Spanish, it was like, whoa, this is big, you know, a bigger thing than you know, you kind of think about. You don't really grasp it because like we don't travel there to see the stuff. We haven't done any plane trips to England or things like that. So it's all kind of like computered and in our head. But it's really cool to see, like they got photos of mixer collection on the beach of Mexico, like the bottles sitting on like a rock by the water. And I was like, that's cool. Yeah, so it's exciting. Concrete is always accidentally racist.
I didn't know if it was offensive to call them Mexican blankets or something. That's what I've always heard them referred to as, those like thick wool blankets.
Oh yeah, well he's in Mexico.
You're saying when he's racist, it's always an accident, or he's always racist and it's accidental?
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna call me racist, mister. Let's destroy Poland.
Poland's not a race, it's a country.
It's a race, they're Polish.
So for Sinesio, it's just a blanket. See what I'm saying?
We're bridging gaps here, you know, understanding. That's what we do on MixLife. We foster understanding.
Astral, yeah, we're gonna have. I'm pretty sure that we got a shop in Cancun, so I'll find that out and we'll talk about it on like a future show or something. But yeah, I recall hearing that we did get a shop in Cancun, so that's exciting. So we're basically the official vape of bad decisions made by college students.
Spring break.
Spring break. I read a whole article about like the hotels serving like rock gut tequila in Cancun, and like people getting alcohol poisoning and shit because they're like making it like backyard still tequila. So fun times. Be careful out there, Astral Martian. Let's see what else is going on in the world. We got our 28 flavors dropping most likely in the next couple days. So that's really cool.
Apparently the weather screwed everything up. I didn't know they got that much snow in England.
Yeah, it looked like a big snowstorm, and they had to stop production for all their stuff, so they weren't even shipping out product to anybody. And then in the comments, people were like, you know, you're a great boss. My boss wouldn't even listen to me when I said I wasn't coming in. So it must have been a big storm. I mean, Lewis did a video where he's making snow angels in like piles of snow. So, you know, it must have snowed pretty heavy there. If anybody's in the UK that's in the chat, want to tell us how bad it snowed or what it was like there, we're not up to date on our UK weather. Let's see. MixLife 48. We've done 48 hours. This is it's 2 days. I should have called this another 48 hours, something like that. I should have made a 48 hours reference.
Dave is the Nick Nolte of MixLife.
Yes, there we go.
No.
Extremely racist film. If you watch it again, Nick Nolte is dropping the N-word a lot in that movie. Like way, like inappropriately, like very offensively, to the point where you're like, I didn't remember this, and it wouldn't even work nowadays. But in that moment, extremely racist film. So Speedy Gonzalez, Cokehead, 48 Hours, extremely racist film. These are the things you learn on MixLife, folks.
Adam, do you want to moderate this this competition judging somehow, or instruct us on how to proceed with that? Or I don't know, something. My dog's bothering me. Sorry.
All right, so if you guys, let's say, if either of you have the recipes available, if you can read off the ingredients. This is Jennifer Jarvis. This is Jerry, or Harry, as they say in Mexico.
Or Jeremy. It's all very confusing. But one of the co-hosts of the dearly departed Blend show.
Yeah, and he's on In the Mix podcast now and then. Cool guy. So he wanted to go against Jarvis. So let's hear the recipes. They had to stick to Flavora. I don't think we had a count limit. Was it 6?
We just did 5.
5. Okay, so 5 ingredients, all Flavora, and let's hear the recipes.
Okay. Well, I have them up. If we want to start with Jarvis's recipe, we have Pop Goes the Cake, and the description is caramel corn cake pop with vanilla sugar orchid frosting. So we have 2% Flavora's cupcake batter, 2% Flavora frosting, 0.75% Flavora popcorn, 0.85% sugar orchid, and 1% Flavora sweetness. And then for Harry, we had almost springish, and there's a bigger description on this. So I'm just going to read it. All right. Based off the idea of the contest, I spent most of my time playing around with the usual
I fell
stuff.
asleep trying to read it.
He started with yams, he played with backos, and he got a little crazy with the eggnog, which we all do. So he just says, off a shake, I love it as a passion fruit and alpine are just offensive and disgustingly overpowering, a syrupy, acidic bath that I enjoy. But by day 2 or 3, they both mellowed down to what this is at heart, an apple cream. Red apple just gives it flesh with just enough of that fruit bite from the alpine passion fruit with a fat body of nondescript cream underneath. And the recipe for this one is 0.25% Flavora's alpine strawberry, 0.75% Flavora's passion fruit, 3.5% Flavora red apple, 2% Flavora vanilla bean, and 2% vanilla pudding. So we got almost springish, and we got Pop Goes the Cake. Which one do we want to talk about first?
I'll say first, I couldn't mix these because every one of these flavors that are up looking good for today's show were all over my other room. So I didn't get to mix them. Copel mixed them, but he couldn't be here to judge. So it's going to be between Dave and Concrete. And then if they have differing opinions, we'll defer for a tiebreaker from Capella. So let's just hear what you guys think. And then...
well, we just have to agree then, because that would render him powerless, and that makes me happy.
Right.
What we're trying to do is make his bearded holiness impotent, and I'm completely okay with that. So we may have to agree on something.
Eat toothpaste. That was Jen Jarvis's suggestion when I think Dave was asking how he could do a free vasectomy. It was just eat toothpaste for the fluoride, which would probably kill you. It's probably not gonna. It's probably
I
not
ate
gonna.
2 tubes this morning, and I'm fine.
Just a little foggy and very minty, but he's still technically alive. So it was good advice. I just hold my balls right up to the microwave while it's running. But toothpaste, if that works for you.
Just put the laptop right in your lap You can with the Wi-Fi, and you can literally like feel some shit is wrong when you're sitting with that laptop in your lap. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna. I don't want more kids anyways, but I have 3.
It's a good thing, because if you had them, they'd be deformed.
Just eyes all sideways and stuff. It would not be good.
And
Okay,
that was what flagged us for the parent friendly.
There we go.
I just watched the money sign turn yellow.
So if you want to start out with the cake pop recipe, Jarvis's cake pop. So this is a really, really smart recipe. I think that's the first thing that I like kind of noticed about it right off the bat. So Flavora doesn't do bakery texture particularly well. You know, it's kind of a struggle to find anything too grainy and solid. So it's a nice cheat for getting kind of a bakery recipe out of flavors that don't necessarily have a lot of bakery grain. I mean, you just go ahead and you coat the entire thing in frosting and call it a cake pop. So I really liked that. The cupcake batter, I think, works pretty well here. It does basically what it needs to do. It gives it like that little hint of cake. The popcorn, I'm not sure if I'm getting like a distinct kind of caramel corn note from it, but the popcorn does actually seem to be bringing something from the to the party, which is nice in general. And so I like the base of this recipe quite a bit, and I like the base of the recipe even more considering the tools that she had available to work with. I think personally for me, where it kind of goes a little bit off the rails, and I think this is like part of Capella not being here to be a floral apologist. The sugar orchid to me tastes like the weird plasticky half of TPA's cherry blossom. Which isn't too bad by itself, but then throwing that sweetness on top of there, that sweetness, I think up at 1%, kind of adds to that sort of floral anisey note to the frosting. And so for me, at least, I like the idea, I think, more than I like the actual execution of it, with that like weird sort of anisey floral right at the end.
You like the idea. I think that the idea is where the flaw lies mostly with this. Because it's kind of like a cake pop. It functions as an undercooked cake with lots of frosting mixed in with it. But the caramel popcorn thing is like, it's not something you want to put sugar orchid frosting on, if that makes sense. Like, I'm cool with it. I think the sugar orchid frosting is a great idea. I'd love to see it on something that is more suited for that than caramel corn cake pop, if that makes sense. It feels a little, it kind of clashes. It's distracting, if that makes sense. Something like a strawberry cake that has actual strawberries in it, just for example, versus a strawberry box cake. One you would put sugar orchid frosting on, the other that would just be silly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, if you did add like a more realistic fruit, give it something to grab onto, I think it would help quite a bit.
Yeah, a realistic fruit would work, but a caramel corn sugar orchid is just no. It doesn't mesh well. I would like to see this broken into 2 separate recipes, because I also really like the idea of a caramel corn cake pop. I just don't want to see them put together, if that makes sense, because it does vape pretty distracting when you're getting the floral notes, and also I did get some caramel, and I was surprised by how much I did get without a caramel flavoring, and it may have just been some power of suggestion, but I could see that being a caramel popcorn, but it's like the caramel popcorn is inside the cake, which is a little strange. It's not, and you can't do that with Flavora. So I would just scrap the idea if you had to make an all Flavora ingredient to try to make something because you want caramel popcorn to be like crunchy. So what you get instead of crunch is cake that's like got artificial caramel popcorn flavoring added to it, which is fine, you know, if it's a cake pop, but that kind of thing just doesn't lend itself well to sugar orchid frosting.
So it's almost like you're getting you're getting two great recipes that don't work well together, but separately you probably love both.
And separately, I would love them. I would love to see sugar orchid frosting on a cake that deserves that, like a delicate, fruity bakery. And I would love to see two different kinds of caramel corn. I'd like to see caramel popcorn cake pop executed perfectly. I'd also like to see a caramel corn cake that's like the cake is separate and it's got crunchy caramel corn on it. Something that gets some crunch in there would be nice too, which of course, you know, cake pop is not crunchy, but that's cool too. But just all of this together is a little too weird for me.
Okay. And what about
the sweetener? It's too much. It's like, here's this beautiful dessert, and I'm gonna put some sweetener on top, sprinkle some sweetener on top of it, artificial sweetener on it for you, and that's just weird.
And then what sweetener? Sweetness? Is that what we use?
Yeah.
It's sweetness. It's flavor sweetness at 1%, and the aftertaste on this thing, for me, I'm getting like just full sweetness on the end with just a little bit of bitterness. That bitterness is either coming from the sugar orchid or someone is fibbing about flavor sweetness just being sucralose. I don't know, but there's a tiny bit of bitterness there.
Okay. All right. So let's hear about Jerry's now and your thoughts. You can go first, ID10T.
Well, for me, it's a slightly floral apple cream, and it fits the description. The apples really very skin on apple, you know. I can dig that, and it's crunchy and juicy and sugary. The effect is like an apple cut up on yogurt, but instead of yogurt, it's a heavy vanilla whipped cream, and then that like there's a little bit of a tart or bitterness that's like squeezing lemon, not bitter tart, squeezing lemon on it, like you would on an apple to keep it from browning. So it's just that super realistic. I don't really pick up the strawberry and passion fruit distinctly as separate strawberry and passion fruit flavors, which is good because I didn't really want to look at those ingredients. I was like, oh, I hope this doesn't taste like Flavora passion fruit and Flavora alpine strawberry, because that would have been a disaster. And I'm not really getting that. Just some really interesting notes to the apple and a little bit of floralness, some green notes, and it makes it interesting and different. Not bad. The one beef I really have with it, or two, one is that the vanilla is almost all in the finish, which is good for the separation, you know, because you got the fruits right on top and then the vanilla cream underneath. But right before you get the vanilla kick in, there's something, it's almost soapy. I don't want to say it tastes like soap, but it's almost a soapy feel right in there for just a second, and then the vanilla kicks in. You're not worried about soap anymore. The aftertaste is a little buttery. Just a little, which is it's not unpleasant. It just kind of gives the whole thing like a sort of rustic feel. And other than that, I don't know. Like I said, I fell asleep halfway through the description, but it says red apple cream and nondescript, not red apple cream with nondescript fatty cream underneath. So it matches that. It really needs a better name. The name is dumb. But that's it. I enjoy vaping it. I'm vaping it right now. I have been since the beginning of the show. It's one I would come back to.
And I'll definitely say that the name does need some work. So no, I liked this. I think the thing that I liked the most about it is I had no idea how the hell this would taste before I dripped it.
That's true. It's a surprise.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising. And so like we can talk about that cake pop recipe being like a really smart use of Flavora and doing what Flavora does to kind of bend it into a different profile. I don't like alpine strawberry all that much, and I don't like Flavora's passion fruit all that much. And so I really wasn't expecting this to be sort of as pleasant as it is. I kind of go back and forth between, like, since Dave's describing it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, there's that floral note. But when I first vaped it, I didn't necessarily pick up the floral note. I kind of picked up something a little bit like Flavora's apple pop, which is kind of like a drier candy apple flavor.
Yeah, like a candied apple skin, would you say?
Yeah, it's like a candy apple skin. And this kind of reminded me of like a filled out, better version of Flavorous apple pop on top of a light cream. And I was kind of digging that. I really like the fact that the Alpine strawberry disappears in here and really bends that red apple into something a little greener and a little bit fresher. The passion fruit is pretty invisible, which is good. If that's adding to the tartness, which I'm guessing it has to be, I think that's used really well. The pudding base, that pudding's a great flavor.
And pudding base is cheating. He probably loses some points there on difficulty.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I think he kind of, for me at least, it's kind of a wash because while the pudding base is pretty easy, I do like the fact that he picked out, like, I have no idea why the hell he grabbed Alpine strawberry and passion fruit, and I was definitely surprised by that.
It's a little nuts, right?
Yeah. So I don't think this is overall like a non-risky recipe. I think it's probably a little bit less risky than just going balls to the wall and deciding to make a sugar orchid cake pop. But I think I enjoy this one a little bit more, and I don't think that's all entirely down to the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of that cherry blossom flavor. I feel like this one's maybe a little bit more balanced. It's still like almost on the verge of sticky sweet, but it pulls back right then, and that vanilla and cream finish kind of helps to clean it up a little bit. I don't know what the hell you do with this, and part of me like wants it tied down to a little bit more solid of a profile, but as it is, I enjoyed this.
Okay, and so which one would you vape the whole bottle
of? I would vape the whole bottle of the almost springish Jerry recipe. For me, at least, I think because Jerry's recipe wasn't unrisky, it just wasn't as risky, but I find it to be a little bit more pleasant to vape overall. It doesn't have some of like the more aggressive off notes and weird flavors to it. I'd probably lean towards Jerry's.
Okay, and ID10, what about you?
Yeah, I will finish the bottle of Jerry's. Not that I'll make it again, but I will finish it. But I probably won't finish the other one, though I would like to see it like inspire other recipes or go in other directions. Because it's got two cool ideas going on at once, and I could see them both becoming great recipes easily.
Okay, so Concrete said Jerry, ID10T said Jerry. Now Jen's magical mixing worked on Capella. He said Jerry's was a nice offering, but the vanilla bean was invasive to him and sort of washed out the fruit. So he picked Jen.
But he's impotent, so.
So Jerry, you are the winner. Congratulations to Jerry.
I mean, I probably am now after all that toothpaste, but.
That's okay. You've already reproduced. There's no point in belaboring the point. So the big thing here is that if Jerry does win this, he is obligated to be on the hook for another mix-off because we have to bring the belt back in the house. So have fun with that, Jerry. We'll be gunning for you.
Who is Jerry going to take on?
I vote for Capella. Like, I want to see Capella throw down.
Yeah.
He'll smoke somebody. He'll just write it in. Like he won't even mix it. He'll just write the fucking thing and
just make some shit up.
I was really shocked to see Jerry kind of run away with this one for me because he has probably been mixing nothing but brown butter ice cream for a year. And that's got to do something to your palate. It definitely doesn't develop your skills.
Yeah. When I looked at the recipes, I was like, what the fuck for Alpine strawberry? I mean, because it's generally something you don't want to go that high with or it just ruins it. But to hear that you guys, weren't just tasting Alpine strawberry, that alone is a victory. So congratulations, Hetty.
This is probably, barring Jennifer's last submission when she beat me, this is probably got to be fairly pleasant in terms of some of the recipes that have come out of this nightmare. So I think both recipes were actually really interesting.
Well, thanks guys for doing it, testing it, and thanks to Jerry and Jennifer for coming up with some recipes. And yeah, so Jerry is the current MixLife champ. Congratulations, Jerry.
This can't stand. We're gonna have to get Capella in here, do something about that.
No mercy, sweep the fucking leg.
We going full Cobra Kai on your ass now, Jerry.
Yo, chefs, 28 flavors coming soon. If you are anywhere near England, pick them up. Those are first time you're able to get a Fear one shot. First time Chris Devore one shots are available. First time ID10, T, Concrete River, all these guys that are great mixers have ever been available over in Europe. So if you guys are based in Europe or Middle East or Africa or Asia, and Chefs is your shipping point where you get stuff, pick those up because it's a really cool chance to try some great mixes from a lot of great mixers. And we're excited about that. And let's see what else we got going on. We have Wizard Labs one-shots or sampler packs there. You can pick up 10 different one-shots for like 24 bucks. The samplers, find the ones you like. We're in Bull City with the recipe packs if you want to mix up some recipes and then have some ingredients. I think 7 of us have one-shots at e-cig Express. I think Steam's releasing one soon. So those, there's the one-shot availability to you guys is a lot better nowadays than a year ago or definitely 2 years ago. So what I suggest is spend a little bit of money, find the one-shot mixer, or if you already follow one of us and like you love the stuff that we put out, then the one shot makes perfect sense. If you kind of don't know who you like as a mixer, it's a great way to kind of see how, why all of us kind of have our names are known, is because you can see the way we do recipes. If you don't want to buy all the flavors and spend the time mixing it up, it's kind of a nice way to see, like a finished product, like going to a restaurant and trying the dish. These are like our final dishes. So it gives you guys a really good look at it. And it's fun too. Like it's really nice to, we're trading recipes around between each other. And then also the Mixers Club on Reddit is the same thing, where it's nice to take a break from trying to develop stuff all the time and really just like enjoy someone else's recipe and see how they do it. I really enjoyed ID10T's If You Like Pina Coladas. It was a great break from the kind of things that I'm mixing most of the time, and it was a perfect pina colada. So I really enjoyed that. And the benefit to these is that's the only place you can get these recipes. So there's some really high quality recipes that you can pick up, and it's fun. And then if you're ordering from Chefs, definitely, try some Decadent Vapors, try some Saluba Rome, and I don't even know if they have Sasami, but you can, even Wayne has one shots over there you can't get here. And there's a couple, like if you never tried VHM stuff, there's Ella's shortbread's really good. And there's just, there's some really cool recipes that you're just not going to get anything like it from the US. So definitely have Chefs in your portfolio of where you shop from. Like if you're going to go like Bull City or Wizard Labs, e-cig Express or Nicotine River, if those are your US flavor houses, that's fine. But without a doubt, Chefs should be in your palette of flavors that you're playing with, because you can get access. They got vape train stuff that Bull City doesn't have. They have Inawera flavors that nobody over here has. So you really get options that you don't really have if you just specifically shop it in the US. So I definitely recommend it. Let's see what else is going on in the world today. What else you guys got going on? Any public? ID10T's been killing the game with his 1-2-3s.
Just carpet bombing that.
I went a little crazy last week and dropped 4 recipes in one day, so it's going to be a while before I do that again. You won't see anything from me for probably another month.
for at least a week and a half.
Or that, yeah. I would like it to note that 6 strings made a strap-on.
She made something look good.
It's a strap-on. Mm-hmm.
Why is it called a strap-on? Is that just because that was the original name you picked for it, or does it have any other?
Well, her recipe that she just dropped on all the flavors is called hydration, but strawberry, apple, watermelon.
So if it's that, it's a strap-on.
It's STR for strawberry, and AP from the apple, and then on from the melon. Strap-on.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Plus, it's lewd, so that's an extra bonus.
But do you remember last year when all the flavors was covered in fake dicks?
Yeah.
From all the strap-ons? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's just covered with real dicks. It's great.
It really is.
I finished up that apple cider pudding recipe thing that I was working on, so that's good to finally get out. Shout out to Lime Drive from Mixers Club for giving me a critique on that, and it was getting a little boozy for me, I guess, up against the pudding base, and they suggested adding some cinnamon to it, among other things, and I added a little bit of flavor-rich cinnamon, which is the bullet that kills every monster in a recipe, and it actually worked to blend pretty good. So if you want to vape something distinctly autumnal, even though it's going to be spring fairly soon, that's definitely not a bad recipe. It's called Deer Lodge.
You said autumnal. I'm like, what the fuck is he saying?
Autumnal?
I'll try that in November.
Yeah, it's definitely a November kind of recipe. I just wanted to get another... I'm shameless, basically, and I don't want my supply of free Favora flavors to dry up, so I will need to get another all Favora recipe out.
Yeah, you're pretty much like 4 free flavors away from a tattoo.
I mean, if Bryson wants me to get a tattoo of his face over my face, I'd probably do it. So, chill life.
There's a thing. It's like I think it was in Asia, like Japan or somewhere, and they're like Uber people, and they wear an iPad of the face of the person they're representing. So it'd be like someone would come in, they'd be like with Concrete River's face on the iPad, and then it's like your way to not show up to a thing. But this like substitute person with an iPad on their face with a photo of you is there. So it's like a substitute appearance.
Well, you'd have to get one of the iPad Pros for me, though, because my face isn't going to fit on one of the smaller joints. You got to get like one of the big ones.
The hat zone. There's an iPad sideways with a second iPad on top with just the hat. The person has degenerated discs for the rest of their life representing you from the weight of the iPad.
You'd need like a 42-inch flat screen TV to cover the full massiveness of my head.
a jumbotron.
It's about like a rear projection system just to make the entire thing manageable. It's okay though. So yeah, no, there's a recipe out there. So
ask your questions, chat. For your last 8 minutes, we will answer your questions. Let's see. What am I working on? I don't know. I'm working on moving the mixer station. That's been my nightmare and success over the last week.
So the worst part of setting up wall racks is when you start to get more flavors and start to panic and have to start breaking things up and make like decisions that make no logical sense. And then you're just in a constant state of anxiety because you don't quite have the rack space. So watch out for that.
Yes, you're right. I've just crossed that line where I've now got some Flavor West and Capella mixed together because that's the only place it would fit. It's driving me insane.
And if you guys want these wall racks, let's see if we can get. Isn't that pretty? If you want wall racks like that, they are on Amazon, and they're called nail polish racks. And
How much is it for about 2 dozen of them?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
They're about $30 a pop, so you're looking at an investment.
Or you got to Alibaba it. Alibaba, get that direct from China deal on 1,000.
Like, we need to actually group buy wall racks, because I see people doing like group buys for bottles and stuff. I wonder if we could get a better price if we actually got like 1,000 of them on a pallet somewhere.
Speaking of bottles, let's talk about bottles real quick. 2 different bottles you should check out. The first one is they're the short 30s. And then Bull City has these. And if you've ever ordered a 30 recently, like Silverline, they come in with a top, and the top will affix the first time, safety seal, and then it has the dropper inside the top. So you just twist it down, and you twist it hard enough, it's good to go. The downside is you cannot get these tops off. But if you're making juice for friends, or you're just making stuff that, I love these because they fit in your pocket better than the unicorns and stuff. They're 50 cents. So really cool bottle. And then Epexified put me onto this other bottle called Big Mouth Boston. And those are cool too. And they look like a redesigned, let's see, we'll share it up. See if we can pull this off. You guys see that? Yeah. Okay, so it's bigmouthboston.com. And then you got to get those by the case, but they're real cheap. There's like $30 for 100. And then those are redesigned in a way too, where like the tips won't break, and they're supposed to be less leaking. So, and Epexified really like those too. So those are 2. You guys see that? Present to everyone. I don't know if you guys, I think you guys see it. Anyways, Big Mouth Boston Rounds, bigmouthboston.com. So those are 2 different ones you guys can pick up if you're looking for new bottles. So, but yeah, I bought 20 of those 30 mils from Bull City, and I immediately ordered 50 more once I got them and mixed a couple things in them, because it was just so much better compared to chubby gorillas that are leaking everywhere and just awful. So if you guys are looking for some different bottles, those are some good options.
We did have a question. Dave, have you tried Capella's dragon fruit? You'd probably be the only person I know that would have actually tried that.
Yes, I have tried Capella's dragon fruit.
We had a question about what the difference between TPA and Capella dragon fruit was.
Well, it tastes very similar, but Capella's is a little bit more concentrated, so you want to use a little less of it. It's a little bit more floral, and it doesn't have the same properties that TPA has. It's not as much of a workhorse as TPA. It doesn't help blend flavors together as well.
What do you think? Someone's asking about a good Boston cream, like the inside of a donut. I'd say start with maybe Bavarian cream.
That's exactly where I would go first. And if it doesn't work, you'd have to try something else, but that'd be my first stop.
Some Barbarian cream with maybe some extra vanilla, like one of the heavier vanillas, like Vanilla Classic or something.
And you'd want to go thick, like, so you'd use like Vienna cream behind it, or really if you want to go like Inawera vanilla shisha for the thickness, because you got to go like it's got to be real thick, and then mix it in like an 80-20 too, so it's even a thicker kind of vape.
Dasmu said in the chat, Flavor West with varying cream. Yeah, I would agree. That would be probably a good starting place.
Cool. The Boston cream.
Oh, Flavora pudding in there also. Actually, the Flavora pudding isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's only 2 Flavora flavors out of the whole line that I've run out of, and it's Flavora cream and it's vanilla pudding Flavora, because it's just
mango.
Yeah, mango and pink guava, my dude. If you can keep Flavora mango in stock, you're fucking up.
Yeah, I get the vegetal from Flavora mango, and I don't know if it's my batch or what, but I get like a leaf note. I don't hate it. It tastes like fresh mango, and you bit a little bit of mango leaf.
All right, so here's why we listen to Adam about like 90%, 95, 99 even percent of things, but we don't listen to him about mangoes. And here's evidence of this. Not what he just said, even though it's total shit, but the thing where he has a recipe that's a mango recipe, and he says you could sub one ingredient for Inawera mango, and that's insane. So we just when mango comes up, we just tune Adam out. That's how that works.
Okay, and so in a recipe, if I say you can sub it, I'm basically just making shit up that I think you could put in if you wanted to.
Okay.
But like when I put a recipe up, it's you either make it that way or you're making your own recipe using the idea. Yeah, I use Inawera mango. I like Inawera mango, sweet mango, Philippine mango in a special combo. And to me, that's what I like, mango. But I
would like to try this combo. I can't remember what it was what the recipe was. I think it was your gummy bear, and I was just like, "What? You can't take that out and just put Inawera mango in there. That's not going to taste right or the same at all." Adam's lost his mind.
This man is a crazy person.
I definitely send out subterfuge. Is that the word I want?
They're clamoring for the nectarine recipe in the chat. Just release the nectarine recipe already.
Oh, it's so good. Ice cream nectarine. It's out. Go pick that
ice cream
up.
Burning plastic. Come on.
All I know is that my mango's the best seller in England. So just saying. I'm just saying. Cookie butter. See, cookie butter works though. See? I've got supporters. I've got people that have tried my crazy ideas that they said couldn't
now
be
Graham's
done.
backing up the cookie butter nonsense too. Oh my god.
It works. Toll House is a sleeper. It is a great recipe. I think it's old milk chocolate though. So you have to have the old milk chocolate to do it. And regular chocolate. There's a way to pair the milk chocolate and the regular chocolate by Inawera that I got from this guy that was based out of Poland that had been doing Inawera for like 6 years or something crazy. Like he was the most experienced Inawera person I'd ever come across. And he was like, he knew all this secret shit about Inawera. And I was like, how do you do chocolate? And it was this little ratio of the regular chocolate to the milk. Yeah, I even got the new one. Old chocolate didn't suck. Shindo's mom sucked.
I just want to know how everybody's wrong about everything today. Just throwing that out.
Everyone is wrong. Chocolate is a lie.
The man wants you to think you can vape chocolates without it being profoundly disappointing.
I don't even like the chocolate. I'm convinced that it takes a 6-week steep to make chocolate taste all right. Because I would hate the chocolate vapes I'd make. And then they get put away, way back shelf. And then I would go and pull it out when I run out of everything else to vape. And I'd be like, oh, it's good. Son of a bitch, 6 weeks. So that's another one of my unpopular opinions.
Rick, what chocolate did you use in this Brooke the Champ thing that I haven't tried yet? I need to get on that. We're almost to the middle of March.
Dude, I am so far behind on everything. I'm going to have to immolate myself in shame for my Mixers Club performance. I used TPA's Ruby Chocolate backed up with some Capella Cereal 27 and some Flavor West White Chocolate. The Cereal 27 in there is already probably a little too high. So that needs to be dialed down, but I was trying to add some AP to it to kind of solidify it up a little bit.
Yeah, what do you think of the Ruby?
I like the Ruby. I'm still trying to like figure out how to fill out the Ruby. It adds a little bit of like tartness and brightness, which I wasn't really expecting. Like it has like a pretty good fruity note to it, and that fruit note is surprisingly realistic for being stuck in a chocolate.
What do you think, ID10T? Have you tried it too?
I have not. This thing that Rick made is going to be my first foray into Ruby chocolate, but it's got a bunch of other stuff in there, so I don't know. I might have to just mix up a tester and try it. I have it here. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Ever since Rick said Cereal 27's the better AP, I just love that. I've been using that, and because I'm not a fan of AP. It tastes like Fritos. I get the Fritos all day, and it just stands out when I vape the recipe. Even if I use it extremely low, it's like you scrape the bottom of the Planters mixed nuts container and called that the AP. So I love using Cereal 27. I think that's a great idea. So if you are not a fan of acetylpyrazine and you're looking for like to bolster up like a nutty mix, think about Cereal 27. Not really the best cereal flavor, but definitely good for adding a little more nuttiness.
I think some of Mr. Burgundy's enthusiasm for Cereal 27 just rubbed off on me. I don't know if I can take credit for making that flavor do anything.
Shindo and Adam, you don't want this.
I just like the fact that Graham's over here talking shit.
Graham's handing out strip club flyers on the Vegas Strip at the same time, talking shit to us about mix-offs.
Fucking Graham versus Shindo's mom, one-on-one. Let's go.
Oh, man. MixLife 48. MixLife 48, Rock Flag Eagle. Thank you for
Flag and Eagle.
Go. Charlie's work all day. All right, have a good one, everybody. Thank you to the co-hosts for joining us. There's probably a DIY show right after this. So
thanks to Jerry and Jennifer for participating in a mix-off. That was really nice.
Definitely. And thank you to ID10T for moving his schedule around.
You're welcome.
Good to have you here, as always. Enjoy your orange Omania.
37?
37 total, yeah, between the three of us.
I get the reference.
Is there a reference I missed?
Yeah, rest in peace, Kevin Smith. He's not dead, though. That's another joke. All right, have a good one, guys. Thanks for joining.